Hello, hello. Welcome to Parkland Media. I am your host, Spade Parkland. Thank you for clicking on the video. According to my analytics, a lot of people who watch my content have not subscribed to the channel. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on any notifications. Hit the notification bell and make sure it's set to all. Thanks for watching, and now enjoy the video. That is the appropriate sound for today because people have been asking me to go over from season 4 spoilers. Yes, I got them. I've been sitting on them, not really looking at them, not taking them seriously. People have been wanting me to go over it. Another content creator went over the titles. Maybe you should go over them too. And I'm like, I don't really believe that the titles that are been put out there are the actual titles of the show, because in addition to the titles, I've been also given episode 1 through 10 of season 4. We'll just say 2 different versions of episodes of all the episodes. The titles that have been leaked, allegedly titles that have been leaked, are different than what I have. So I'll go over the titles since the titles have been put out there. I didn't want to be the first to do it. The titles have been put out there. I'll give credit to who gave it to me. We'll do this. And I'll go over at least episode 1 and maybe think about doing the rest of the episodes depending on what you, the audience, want.
Get your tea and your popcorn because this is going to be another good one.
Yeah, and by good, it means we're taking everything with a grain of salt. All alleged. Okay, so welcome to Parkland Media. My name is Spade Parkland. We're going to go over alleged spoilers from season 4. Now, I've been saying from on MGM Plus, Amazon Prime, because that's where we get it here in the States. However, across the pond in the UK, they have something called ITV, and ITV somehow, some way has the titles out there. So I have not been able to access the ITV or even subscribe to it, even using a VPN or using the Onion router, which kind of like hides your location. So with the Onion router, I'm currently in Denmark. It can bounce from any location. I can be logged into those places using the Onion router or using a VPN. Even when using that stuff, I can't get access to ITV. So maybe ITV is just like a mobile app thing. I don't know. So this is the email that I got. Said, bro, did you saw? So this was the first thing that I did. I was like, wait a minute. This can't be real life.
Oh man, you guys got jokes. Everybody got jokes tonight, dog.
This can't be real life because we got this whole grammar thing going. Bro, did you saw it? I know in my videos sometimes I say something incorrect. It happens, but we're typing. So, bro, did you saw those leaks for season 4, all the title names for episodes? I'm like, okay, all the title names. We got some of them ain't got no titles, so ain't no all title names. What are we doing? Okay, ain't no all title names. We're missing like 2 of 10 if these are the actual titles. So I'm like, okay, so we got and you know, if you are a channel member, you know I nitpick. Okay, I nitpick, but I don't really say anything out loud or address it until maybe doing a reaction or whatever. But bro, did you see those title leaks for season 4? 8 out of 10 of the title names for episodes. Okay, so we fixed it, and I'm just playing around. If you email me or message me or whatever, I'm not a stickler. I'm just joking around. So here are the titles, and I saw another content creator go over them. But see, first we're gonna give credit. Someone named Azarim or Azarim, Abracadabra, Azarim or Azarim or Azarim. We'll just call him Rem. So Abracadabra Rem says, send me the list. I got this January 9th. The making of this is January 25th. I got this January 9th. And the only reason why this is, his email address is right there. My bad. I've been sitting on this because, last year alleged spoilers came out and some stuff was true, some stuff wasn't. But, here when I do theories, I like to kind of just use my own theories. And then if someone in the comment section gives their theory and I bounce off of that, I give credit. I don't like taking anyone's information like other people that'll have a live stream and say, hey, you call in with your theories. Then next thing you know, I pop up with a video. No shade. Okay. No shade. So this was something off of Reddit, and anytime I took a screenshot of this and put it into Google, whether it was Tor, the Onion Router, or the regular Google for here in the States, this would pop up and it would be like Reddit and other places. So that was my first red flag. I'm like, wait a minute. I can't just look at ITV shows and see the titles for myself. That's the first red flag. That doesn't necessarily mean that stuff is not real. It's just, I just kind of look at it like that when being skeptical. That's why I've been sitting on it. Okay. And so I appreciate it. I may use it. So I appreciate it. I may use it. I can't read. Can I give you credit for the find? His response is right here. Sure, bro. So he has given me permission to give him credit. And I guess I accidentally put his email address out there. Hopefully he's not upset about that. He has credit for finding this, I guess, on Reddit, or maybe he got it from ITV shows. I don't know. These are supposed to be the leaky leaks. These are the things that a lot of people would want to see. So just kind of going over the titles. So this is supposed to be season 4, right? So we do see from season 3 above this. So it kind of does make it look legit. Below it, season 4 in this title. So these titles may be a real thing. For this video, I'm going to treat them like they're a real thing and just kind of go over and give my take on it. And then I'm going to show seasons 4, episode 1 and the two things I have for that and compare it to The Arrival. All right. So first we have The Arrival. So I imagine The Arrival might be maybe Sophia, who The Arrival is talking about, or maybe it's the arrival of the man in the yellow suit. But just the idea of The Arrival could also be a large amount of people to come like they did with the bus. But The Arrival means like something important or someone important is coming to where it's a big deal. And that's what I'm thinking. And then next we have Episode 2 is supposed to be Fray, a situation of intense activity, typically one incorporating an element of aggression or competition. So I imagine that the behind the scenes where we saw Randall looking like a boss, that Fray may have something to do with that, where this is an intense moment and it could be even maybe a turning point for the entire series. What I would like to see is them going down into the caves, and that's the intense thing, is going into the caves to deal with Smiley, maybe Randall being like a boss threatening the township. But it should be like Frey just sounds like it's going to be something of an escalation as opposed to previously where it was like a bunch of people talking with each other, waiting on a big thing to happen, and then we kind of go from there. So episode 3 is to be announced. No episode 3, and that's kind of where I'm kind of skeptical, because if you're going to give us the rest of the titles, then why not give us that? So I'm going to scroll up here because it's kind of cut off. 4 and the rest of them is kind of cut off, but he typed out what the episodes were right here. So we'll just kind of go off of that. All right. So The Arrival, The Fray, episode 3. Nobody knows. It's a big mystery. 4, The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. So The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. So The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. It's a book. And it was published in 1940. So I've never heard of the book, never read the book. So we'll use Wikipedia to be our friend and tell us about the book. But just kind of just grazing through, it's about 2 people who were friends. Both of them were deaf. Spiros was a frequent alcoholic who misbehaved. He's put into an insane asylum far away from town, despite Singer, who was his friend's attempts at intervention. Now alone, Singer moves into a new room in the Kelly's house. Many people in the town are attracted to Singer's presence. The remainder of the narrative centers on the struggles of 4 of Singer's acquaintances, all of whom frequently visit him. I'm going to skip down to right here. So Singer misses his friend. And when Singer attempts communication, he finds out that the friend, who is Spyros, has passed away, and Singer does self-termination upon returning home. Based off of Lonely Hunter, I would say that this could be maybe Elgin. Elgin has been secluded from the rest of the town because, I mean, look what he did to Fatima. It also could be Fatima. Fatima could be out there living in the shed because of what she did to Tilly. Maybe people find out about that. Or it could be Boyd. People might find out that Boyd was covering up for Fatima, was protecting Sarah. Sarah took out Elgin's eye as opposed to following Elgin and letting Elgin lead them to Fatima. Boyd has done a lot of things, so it could be Boyd. Could be Elgin, could be Sarah. I think if I had to take a guess, I would say it's Boyd. And Boyd has been exiled. People are mad at him, especially Donna, because what he did was in Colony House, which is Donna's domain. And I think the person who would be the other aspect would be maybe Ellis. Maybe Ellis moved back into town because he and Fatima are distant. This may be pertaining to Boyd being excommunicated for what he did. Maybe Sarah. Narratively speaking, when you're talking about two friends, it could be Sarah and Elgin excommunicated. Maybe Julie, who's like a friend to both of them, kind of goes out there. Who knows? But based off what the synopsis of the book is, someone's been exiled. And I mean, it would make sense if it's Boyd, Sarah, or Elgin. If I had to pick one, I would say the number one person to be exiled would probably be Sarah. We'll just say that Sarah is exiled, and the person that goes to visit Sarah will be Elgin, because Elgin, in my opinion, would understand why Sarah did what she did, and they would be able to kind of trauma bond by being taken advantage of by the township. Number 5 is of myths and monsters. Maybe people start seeing things in the forest or seeing things in town that no one else can see, and now it becomes kind of like a myth, and that people are seeing monsters. Maybe even there's people who are getting terminated by stuff and they don't know what it is, and everyone starts speculating, and now you kind of got like myths of this may be going on, or this could be kind of like holding a mirror up to the Frumley. Let's just talk about it. A lot of people have said, oh, well, the creatures are fairies, or they're vampires, or, you know, tried to use some type of mythology to explain From, as opposed to looking at From as something new and looking at it as is. A lot of people have tried to say, well, hey, this myth, this culture, From is disrespecting all these cultures, taking from all these cultures. And I think episode 5 might be addressing the Frumley and all of their, we'll just say, theories that have gone kind of like all the way left, all the way right, even with Fatima wearing a beard and people saying that Martin is Fatima. So I think episode 5 might be just kind of like poking fun at the Frumley and how all, you know, our crazy theories are, and maybe like characters in the show, they do their own theory crafting and they sound loony, or they're doing a bunch of yoga stretching, and that may be what that is as far as of myths and monsters. I would like to see that. I would like to see a scene in Of Myths and Monsters where Fatima is in Colony House. She goes down to the basement where all the junk is. She starts going through the junk. She finds a beard, puts it on, and then we all get a laugh. Fatima's Martin, you know, just poking fun at everybody for coming with crazy theories and crazy ideas and trying to use this myth and that story and this fable and this culture to explain From, when From looks like it's an original idea. Number 6, if a tree falls in the forest, I think a faraway tree is going to go down. The boy in white told Victor, don't chop down a tree. I think a tree falls either on its own or someone chops it down. I would imagine that a tree would fall on its own, equivalent to like when they see the Fallen Tree Road, we see trees start falling, and that's kind of like, Spaghetti-O. Spaghetti-O. Episode 7, who knows? Episode 3, episode 7, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So heavy is the head. This refers to like being a ruler, being in charge. It primarily talks about being a king or a queen who rules, but it could be just someone who's in leadership and has to make a tough decision. And that tough decision might be, hey, it's time for us to go on offense. It's time for us to go to the caves. Let's get them while they sleep, since they've been getting us while we've been sleeping the whole time. And now maybe someone has to make a decision to go on offense to try to take out the creatures, especially because food is scarce. We see the time jump where we see different actors on the show losing weight. So we know there's a food scarcity, people losing weight, time jump. It seems like the evil side has just been scoring up and racking up wins. I think a decision will be made. It's time to have a last stand. We're tired of being pushed around. Or maybe Randall is on some nonsense and hands are being forced. So the calm before, I think, is where they might be gearing up to go down to the cave and start setting people on fire. Unless the arrival was like someone who give them insight on what to do, and then they have to kind of take that information, and then heavy is the head, they make a decision, and then the calm before, they're preparing, and then what a long, strange trip it's been might be making a trip to the lighthouse. Like instead of going through the faraway tree to go to the lighthouse, they're going to do it on foot as a large group, maybe even the entire town, and establish camps. So that way they have strength in numbers, they have all their supplies, and like it's a last stand to just foot march it to the lighthouse. That's what I would like to see, because Sarah and Boyd have seen the lighthouse. Tabitha went to it, got pushed out of it. Someone, or maybe Tabitha's going to say, hey, the lighthouse is the way home. I went to Maine before. Jade and I are connected to our previous reincarnations. That's the one thing that none of us were successful at, was getting to the lighthouse on foot. And they decide, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go on foot. So the calm before might be preparing to go to the lighthouse on foot. And then what a long, strange trip it's been might be physically trying to go to the lighthouse, bipedal movement, and just seeing what that's about. That's what I think based off of just titles alone. And of course, I could be completely wrong. These titles may be completely wrong, or I might be spot on. Maybe it's spoilers. Maybe I guessed it. Who knows? They're in post-production. So whatever has been put out there has been put out there. Okay. So that's what I think as far as these titles. And I haven't really watched anyone else's video to see what they came up with as far as titles. So this is me looking at it with a fresh pair of eyes. That's what I think it is. And you know what? I might make a video late, like, you know, in a week or two and say, you know what, about these titles, I have a new take. So if I have a new take, don't be mad at me. Okay. So now we're going to go over alleged episode 1 of season 4. Allegedly.
Breaking news.
This is all alleged, all alleged. Okay, so this version, the person did not want credit. And the only way I would respect leaks is if you have someone in post-production who does like sound effects or special effects or does the editing, or maybe someone from the production crew isn't getting paid a lot, or maybe the studio itself wants to make sure that the ratings are going to be boosted up. So they may leak stuff on purpose to make you want to watch it. Because it has been a long time from season 3. So a lot of people have moved on to other shows they've forgotten about from. So these leaks could come from the actual studio. And this is like this is a part of their marketing campaign. And in their eyes, it may be equivalent to like a trailer. So that's why sometimes we get leaks. And then also the company that makes the trailers, they also see the episodes to make the trailer. So there's a lot of eyeballs that get on the script and the actual episode. A lot of eyeballs get on there. And then, you know, whether it's the studio leaking something or someone not getting paid a lot, or maybe a fan who just wants to put it out there, somehow the leaks get out there. And we're going to treat this like it's a regular leak. Okay, that's actually true. So this is season 4 from, and I got this by email. The person did not want any credit. They were like, hey, don't say my name. I just want to put it out there Don't say my name. Don't show my information at all. So I can only show this. All right. So I got all 10 episodes, alleged episodes of season 4. We're going to just do episode 1. We're going to do episode 1 and I'll just kind of see, do we want the rest of it and maybe do it weekly? And the reason why I want to maybe do it weekly or whatever is because if I do, do more episodes is because let's just say we get season 4 in February or March. We don't need these. This might not even be right. No point in tainting the well. But anyway, all right. I already have it on the screen. You've already read it already. Well, I've been running my mouth. But so episode 1, Echoes of the Bell. So it's already different from The Arrival. Based off of the ITV screenshot, The Arrival seems more plausible. But this one's Echoes of the Bell. Episode 1, Echoes of the Bell. And again, this might be a yoga stretch. Take it with a grain of salt. So the summary is a new character arrives. So it kind of goes into the idea of the arrival in the town by boat. Okay, so where Jim and Kenny found the wild vegetables that's growing in patches, I imagine that's where the boat's going to be coming from if they're going to actually do a boat idea. So coming by boat is possible. It's very much possible. I'm surprised people, I know Jim and Kenny, when they found this area, they kind of found it by accident and they've just focused on just getting the vegetables and bringing it to town and not actually exploring, trying to make a boat and explore. So maybe season 4 with the heavy as the head, they decide to go by boat, leave the town by boat instead of on foot, because what could be in the water that could be dangerous? So I imagine maybe that could be a thing. Maybe episode 7 or episode 3, they decide to do the boat, or the calm before they could be getting ready to go by boat. They've made this arc. They're getting on the river and just kind of going out. So I could see that. I could already see that if they're going to do the boat idea, I could see someone came on a boat and then maybe using that same boat to try to leave. So carrying a mysterious map and old photos. Old photos. Tabitha struggles with the trauma of Jim's death, but begins experiencing visions of him. Okay, so maybe a ghost Jim. I like Ghost Jim. This could be awesome. Can you imagine the dynamic of Jim saying, "Oh, I'm gone. Now you and Jade get to play footsie and mystery now that I'm gone." Can you imagine the conversation that Ghost Jim would have with Tabitha? And so the children start having strange dreams filled with symbols hinting at the keepers. So I guess the children would be Julie and Ethan, but we have Sophia. Sophia is a main cast member who's going to be new for season 4. So even though Sophia is main cast for season 4, they still may have supporting characters and reoccurring characters that may be children. So maybe The Arrival is children coming to town. That'd be interesting. And so the children start having strange dreams filled with symbols hinting at the keepers. Okay, so if it's going to be episode 1, we're talking about children, maybe during the time jump, children came during the part of the show that's not being seen if we're doing a time jump, and now we got children in town and they're having strange dreams. And so the keepers, so interesting, powerful entities never seen before. Okay, more symbols for Jade to stress out about, and then we got the keepers. The episode ends with the town hearing a mysterious bell tolling, signaling the arrival of a new danger. So we already got the man in the yellow suit. So maybe the arrival is the new danger. And maybe we get like a hint of that. Maybe it's the man in the yellow suit. He starts coming into town and he's going to do something crazy or maybe something different. If we're taking this for face value, I mean, it does say Echoes of the Bell. Maybe they changed the name to The Arrival, but there is a arrival, a couple of like different variations of the word arrive, which I don't know, this may be a thing. So just kind of looking at this as actually being a thing, I would like it. Like, okay, a new character arrives in town by boat. Let's say it's Sophia. She's carrying a mysterious map and old photos. Okay. So Sophia, she comes in with a bang. Tabitha starts seeing Ghost Jim. I could see that. Children may have arrived in town. I could see children being in town having strange dreams and symbols hinting at the keepers. Okay. powerful entities never seen before. So maybe these powerful entities have something to do with it or making deals. Maybe they created Fromville. Maybe they're the ones that made the weather change when Jim was using the radio trying to call out and contacted the man in the yellow suit. Then they hear a mysterious bell tolling. Okay, mysterious bell. I mean, the bell, maybe it could come from the lighthouse or maybe underground or maybe it's another location. I've always said that I think it would be a good thing if there's more than one town. Like, yeah, you got the settlement out there with the wild vegetables, but maybe another town with other people, as in the same way how there's like one way to get into town so far, there's like another town where they saw their own fallen tree, and there's like other towns that are scattered out throughout the forest. That would be really cool. And then arrival of new danger. So the reason why maybe people from other towns have not come to the town that we know of is because of stuff in the forest that is over there keeping them from coming into the main town that we know of, which that could be where Martin comes from or where Martin has been at, or that maybe they may meet Martin. I mean, maybe the new character is Martin, maybe it's Sophia. I imagine that if they're going to have this new character, it more than likely would be Sophia. She's a main cast member because she may know information about the town, and maybe she is arriving by boat because she's escaping from another town and she got away from the danger over there. So who knows? Maybe the nightmares in the forest, things you weren't meant to see, have really been plaguing other parts of the forest. And the town that we have seen on the show is kind of like, this town is safe because what is out there that's dangerous is terrorizing other people and hasn't made its way to Boyd and company. So who knows? So signaling the arrival of new danger. So there's that. Now we got one more. So now we got another episode 1. This is the reason why I wasn't really entertaining this stuff, because we basically have almost 3 episode 1 possibilities. And, it's fun to go through them. So episode 1, blood marks. So we already have Echoes of the Bell. We got blood marks. ITV shows says the arrival. So with blood marks, it says Jade and the mysterious vision. Okay. The scene begins at the bottle tree. Jade stands in thought as drops of blood stream from the hanging bodies, where he saw the Civil War soldier shooting at him. And then before that, there were the Confederate soldiers that were like hanging upside down, bleeding onto the symbol on the tree. He hears Christopher's voice telling him, gather the charms and go to the cave where Boyd found them. So, okay, I'm already skeptical of it being called charms, and we know them as being talisman stones. So I know a lot of y'all hate when I use AI. Oh, a supernatural charm is the object or spoken formula believed to hold magical power, used to bring good luck, provide protection against evil, or create specific intended effect. All right, so I only read that just to kind of have a baseline of what we're talking about. So the talisman stones could be charms. Gather the charms and go to the cave where Boyd found them. So taking it back to the grotto cave, okay. Maybe that's why they were in the grotto cave, because maybe they were made somewhere else and put in the grotto cave to make the grotto cave powerful or special, or maybe the grotto cave has some type of secret that we don't know about. And so gather the charms and go to the cave where Boyd found them. It starts now. Okay, starts now. Okay. Jade hesitates before stealing the talismans, secretly avoiding everyone's eyes. So I could see if Boyd is, let's say, excommunicated, or Boyd is busy dealing with whatever he's doing. People probably don't trust Boyd at all. He might not even be sheriff. So each house may have a talisman stone, including the diner and the church. They may have talisman stones hanging up, and he could just walk into the building, snatch it off the wall, and then run off, and nobody would say anything, because people really don't touch the talisman stones. They kind of keep them up there in their place. So I can see him stealing the talisman stones and avoiding everyone's eyes. His eyes look confused, as if he knows what he's doing. Will change the fate of the town. So that's supposed to be episode 1. And if we're going to take it seriously, I'll say this much. If you kind of go along the logic of the arrival, something could still be arriving. The creatures are going to have a field day and it's going to be another massacre. So I doubt that this would be Christopher's, the actual Christopher, because of course, Jade came from Christopher. So this might be the boy in white imitating Christopher's voice. Maybe Jade's hearing voices now. And if Jade's eyes have been opened, which would include knowing what Christopher believed, I could see Jade doing this based off of maybe the previous lives of Jade, including Christopher, where Jade would know something and lives being sacrificed would not be a big deal. You're talking about Miranda, or if you remember, Miranda told Victor to hide somewhere where Christopher can't find you. So Christopher may have been having plans to sacrifice stuff and do some crazy things because maybe he was like influenced by something. Because when Victor overheard the boy in white talk to Christopher and Christopher said everything lies here, Christopher may have just been telling the boy in white that, but maybe Christopher was like hearing voices or something and that may have influenced him. Now, one thing I want to note is that all of the houses in town were fine when episode 1 started, when the Matthews first went into town. There's not any evidence that any of the buildings have ever been damaged, rebuilt, or moved or anything like that. So Tabitha digging in the basement and falling through the floor and then going to the cave, that's like a first time thing. So the previous reincarnations of Tabitha, more than likely, in my opinion, have never gotten as far as people have gotten in the town. I think Tabitha and Jade have gotten farther than they've ever been because Tabitha was digging in the basement. Even though Jade and Tabitha remember where they come from, it may be equivalent to you're playing a video game, you've gotten to a certain point, and then other people come who've also played the game, and you've gotten farther than they've ever gotten. So even though you remember or you know what they've done, it doesn't really benefit you because you've gotten farther, because there just hasn't been any evidence of anyone going through the floor and then going into the cave. Maybe past versions of Tabitha and Jade just physically went to the cave and saw stuff. Who knows? But I could see Jade now remembering who he comes from and maybe having bits and pieces of their mindset, the past versions. I could see him hearing a voice and saying, you know what? I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I'm going to trust this voice because it's a past version of me and I've been seeing this dude. I'm going to go to the grotto cave and see what happens. If this is true, that means that night there are no talisman stones and the creatures are going to have a field day, another massacre. The arrival could be someone arriving to help people escape, whoever's like not getting massacred or who survives, to go somewhere else and maybe start going into the forest. If that's the case, I like this idea because the town just feels and seems like it's a starting point. And if it is a starting point and like the goal is to go into the forest and eventually travel somewhere to a different town, to the lighthouse or a different location, I think it would be good to leave the town behind and just kind of focus on the main cast and maybe a few of the reoccurring characters and just kind of make them have to set up camp and just continue to move forward. But we also see Randall as a boss, looking like a boss in Colony House and one of the behind the scenes pictures. So I doubt that could be a thing of them relocating, because the fact that they have all of those actor chairs, if Jay does do this, he might do this towards maybe the latter part of the day and maybe all of the actors' chairs being in Colony House and then Randall sitting in there maybe before the taking of the talisman stones, and maybe Randall's presenting something to them that is making them have to focus on him, or maybe they're questioning him on what does he remember when the creature has grabbed him and he's just like looking sinister. And this is what I mean by looking sinister. So here's the picture I was talking about as far as all the actor chairs in Colony House. This is courtesy of the actor who plays Kenny on his Instagram. So for us to get this shot right here, that means they were in Colony House and there's like a big meeting or something, and it may involve Randall looking sinister, looking like a boss, maybe telling them what the creature said to him, what the cicadas are saying to him. Maybe Randall's hearing voices. Maybe Randall has a new power, but he just seems to be looking really confident. All eyes are on him. He has everyone's attention. He just seems like he's just on some nonsense. I'm taking over the town now. You can't trust Boyd. I don't trust Donna. I'm taking over the town. But for us to get this, I think that the taking of the talisman stones more than likely is not going to be a thing. We got this scene right here, which could happen during the day. I mean, this right here is during the day because daylight outside. But if we're taking it seriously as far as the taking of the talisman stones by Jade, I think he would take them during the day. No one could see him. And he just runs off. And then as it starts to get dark, they're having this meeting in Colony House. And here come the creatures. It's a massacre. And then the arrival could be Sophia. Maybe she does know information about the town and she leads people somewhere else, or leads people through the forest to this other town. To me, that'd be awesome. If Sophia, she comes into town, she arrives, ushers people to another town for safety because there's no talisman stones and the creatures are having another massacre, another field day. And maybe Randall can like see the future, and that's what he's talking about. Like, hey, safety's over with. We got to get up out of here. Or I've joined the evil side. Here are the terms of your surrender. It could be anything. I'd imagine that Jade would kind of have a discussion with Tabitha. If this is a thing, I imagine that Jade would have a discussion with at least Tabitha because they're kind of connected before he would do something like this. Let's just say Jade doesn't like Tabitha anymore because Christopher didn't like Miranda, and maybe past versions of Jade didn't like Miranda, maybe even homicidal to her. So we'll see. We'll see. Just because Jade and Tabitha were originally married doesn't necessarily mean that the marriage was a good marriage, that every reincarnation afterwards was a good experience. Tabitha and Jade's eyes being opened may also have them experiencing all of the things that their previous lives have done with each other and to each other. And for all we know, they may be enemies. And maybe that's the reason why he wouldn't run things by her. But who knows? Who knows? I can go on about episode 1, the 2 different versions of the title. I may revisit it. Who knows? But what do you think? Season 4 title list for episodes and possible spoiler for episode 1, 2 different versions. Let me know what you think. So watch ads without skipping. If you want to support the channel, become a channel member, become a YouTube premium member if you want to watch content without getting commercials. Donate through Super Thanks. You can also donate through Cash App. There's $Spade Parkland. Thumb up the video, comment in the comment section, share everywhere, including your YouTube community tab. If watching on a cell phone and you see the hype button on your account, click and hype me up, please and thank you. So go forth, do great things, and I'm out. Peace.